Well, no little man has more fun at the expense of his opponents than Kevin Johnson. He toys with his defender just long enough to get him to sit back, and then with his lightning-quick first step, bam, he's by his man and on his way to the rack, where he'll either score, get fouled, or even worse, he'll do both. At 6'1", he is perhaps the NBA's best little man, and even plays bigger. His peers recognize him as one of the most fearless little guys in the land of the NBA's giants.
David and Goliath, man, the big guys have a huge advantage on me in certain areas, but in other areas, I have to have an advantage of them. And more than anything, they claim this paint area here as being their turf. And I feel that my duty is to trespass as often as I can. The big guy say, oh, here comes the little guy, I can just block his shot. But sometimes you quick jump them and you get them when they're not ready, you can actually get a dunk on them. And there's nothing more exhilarating for a little guy than a dunk on a big guy, because then we're going to get a poster blown up and put it all in our house and send it to the guy when our career's over, have him sign it.
A 6'1" point guard telling tall tales of dunking on big men is not the norm in the NBA. But then this is a man whose approach to the game mirrors his approach to life, an attitude shaped early in his youth.
My grandparents told me that I was special, and they told me it so much that I started believing it. And then when you believe that, you think you're unique, you think you're different, you think you're special, you think you should be able to do things that are exceptional. An example of being one in a million kids to make it to the NBA. And because I heard that so many times, you're special, you're different, you can do anything you want, that I started believing it. That was my food. And here I am, small town kid from Oak Park, Sacramento, California. I'm here in the big time, hanging out with Charles Barkley and David Robinson.
And for the people he still hangs with in his hometown of Sacramento, KJ truly is one in a million. His positive impact can be felt strongly there, where he established the St. Hope Academy to help young people who otherwise would have no hope. The home, which KJ built and oversees, focuses on a strong family atmosphere and education as the ways kids can escape social and emotional devastation. It is an environment KJ can relate to. For that reason, he is there.
And I think it was, from 13 basically through 17 that I really got curious, and life just didn't seem fair. It was roller coasters, it was ups and downs all the time. You could never get ahead. If you had 2 or 3 or 4 good days, then you knew 3 or 4 bad days were just around the corner. So you're like, well, if I stay in the house all day, maybe I can have those bad days skip by me.
They hope to love Kevin Johnson and the Phoenix Suns.
What happened right here? My family instilled in me growing up that you have to give back. Your value as a person is directly correlated to how much you give back and help out people that are less fortunate. And that's natural for me. I get credit for, you don't do it for credit. You do it because you think it's important to help out those who are disadvantaged and less fortunate, and to realize that's one of the permanent things. A boy in a class doesn't like Kevin Johnson? You know his name? I'll write him a note. I wasn't always like this. It came once I found Christ and decided to walk with him, that we have to give it our all the time for him. And not just when people are watching, because you never know who's looking.
I didn't do anything because I was right.
Very well done, very well done. If you can help out a young person be successful, that's going to last the rest of their life. The Bible tells us we can't focus on the perishable gifts, the things that are going to vanish, but the things that are imperishable that are going to last forever, and things in heaven, and youth are certainly a part of that.
Over the last few years, a ton of highlight reel plays have come courtesy of 2 of the game's best guards. Mark Jackson is one of the NBA's most creative passers, an all-star and league assist champion. Hersey Hawkins is one of the game's purest shooters and steadiest competitors. One excels at dishing the rock from the point guard position, the other at hitting bombs from the wing. But both have one thing in common. They are among the most underappreciated players in the game.
I'm not a guy going to be out there saying something every time we're running up and down the basketball floor. I basically lead by example. I'm not a get upset, jump in the player's face, jump in ref's faces type of guy. I just go out there and play, and hopefully let the basketball do the talking.
If I make a key shot, I'm excited and I'm thrilled.
So it's really a challenge, and it's inspiring to me.
If you talk about sport, then it has to be fun. You know, people put too much pressure on sport and results. And in the long run, that doesn't matter.
You know, I just love being able to jump off a diving board or jump off a platform and feel the wind going by my ears and spinning and twisting and then hitting the water, and you know that you just ripped it.
The feeling is like you go through the finish line and you know you was the fastest one. It's like, wow, I did it again. And it's a ball of luck in your stomach who explode.
I'm a competitive person by my nature. I compete in everything that I do, whether I'm playing cards with my husband or I'm on the volleyball court. So for me, it's a huge part of my life, and I know that in some way I'll be competing until I can't do it anymore.
I know I like sports. I like challenging myself. I like competing. It's something that I'm good at.
The secret to golf is that there is no secret. Be good, do good, and stay out of trouble. There's nothing that beats hitting a drive 250 yards down the middle or sinking a 20-foot putt to win a tournament.
Cool. I know what I'm gonna do this year.
Golf's the greatest game because it mirrors life. It takes a lot of hard work and the right direction to become a champion.
It's an all day, all week, you know, kind of thing, 24/7, I guess you would say. It's in the morning before school for about 2.5 hours, and you go to school, and then right from school you go back to gym for another 4 hours.
It was hard when I was 30 getting up and going to the gym in the morning, and it's not any easier now. My muscles still hurt and they still ache. I've had over 30 broken bones and they hurt.
Oh, you know, I have to get up at 6 in the morning to get in a cold pool at 7, and then I have to lift for 1 more hour, and then I have to go back in the afternoon. It's a lot about who I am, just being a little better every day.
You know, I feel it, but I'm doing something that I really love. I'm passionate about my sport, I love my sport, and I'm one of the luckiest people around.
The thrill of competition and reward of victory is only part of the story. The certainty of disappointment and even despair are ever looming. And given time, every athlete will experience adversity.
You go through every emotion. You're frustrated, you're angry, you're sad. You question God, you question faith, you question everything.
When I hit a valley for the first time when I was in college, I was devastated. And I was about ready to jump off a cliff, it felt like. But one of the things that I found was that as I went through a valley, I came out on the other end stronger.
I believe our biggest limitations are the ones that we place on ourselves or the ones that we allow others to place on us. And once you recognize that, you are already in the air midway, jumping over the hurdles in front of you.
In the end, it's not the depth of the adversity, but the athlete's response that will measure the heart of a champion.
The capacity crowd beginning to file in. It'll be 110,000 by the time they're all in their seats. And here's Glory Alozie of Nigeria. She's an excellent hurdler, but during her stay here in Sydney, her personal life has been very much in the news.
I started running when I was very small in my primary school because I loved running when I used to see athletes. I love them so much and I wish to be one of the athletes.
With the 2000 Sydney Olympics only weeks away and the excitement of her upcoming marriage to Nigerian sprinter Hyginus Anugo, Glory was on top of the world. But on September 7th, her charmed life was shattered.
In Sydney, something very strange happened to me, which I don't normally like to talk about it. So I was a bit demoralized and I felt very bad, but I think it was the work of God who gave me the strength to run again because it was almost impossible.
Glory came to Sydney with great expectations in this event. She's one of the best in the world, but then her fiancé, Hyginus Anugo, was struck by a bus while here in Sydney and killed. She almost withdrew from the games, but now running in his honor.